கோவிட் டைம்ல வாலண்டியரா வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு நான் கண்டிப்பா வரேன். ஆனா ஐஏஎஸ்ஸா திரும்பி வர மாட்டேன். யூ வாண்ட் டு சேஞ்ச் சம்திங். அந்த மாதிரி ட்ரீம் இருந்ததா ஐஏஎஸ் இஸ் whereas the third language in a Hindi speaking state would be either Sanskrit or Urdu. It will not be any other regional language. I have resigned from last August to this now. I'm not getting any salary. I'm not taking any salary also. First to resign and tell that I don't agree. You came into the service because you want to serve the nation, you want to serve the people. We did not say, our media, our judiciary, our activists, we did not say that this is not correct. The protest was the criminal activity. That also we had to convey to a lot of people. Mr. Ashok Lavasa, who was the election commissioner with this, he was the finance secretary during the very government. This government only made him a finance secretary. Violations from Mr. Modi. Elections got over, and in July, his entire family was targeted. His son, his sister, his wife, his daughter, everybody.
டைம்ஸ் ஆஃப் இந்தியா சமயம் தமிழ் நேர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இன்றைய சிறப்பு நேர்காணல்ல நாம் சந்திக்கக்கூடிய ஆளுமை முன்னாள் ஐஏஎஸ் அதிகாரி திரு கண்ணன் கோபிநாதன் அவர்கள். வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம்.
இளைஞர்களுடைய பெரிய கனவு ஐஏஎஸ் ஆகணும்ன்றது. மக்களோட நெருங்கி வேலை செய்யக்கூடிய வாய்ப்பு ஐஏஎஸ் ஆனா கிடைக்குன்ற ஒரு நம்பிக்கை பொதுவாகவே இருக்கு. அப்படிப்பட்ட பதவியை ஏன் ராஜினாமா பண்ணி?
இந்த ஐஏஎஸ் கனவு ஸ்கூல் டைம்ல அந்த மாதிரி ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. நான் இன்ஜினியர், சயின்ஸ் கிராஜுவேட் தான், இன்ஜினியர் தான். அதுக்கப்புறம் நோய்டாவில் மோட்ரோலா ஃப்ரீ ஸ்கேல் செமிகண்டக்டர் அங்கே ஒரு VLSI டிசைன் இன்ஜினியர் ஆகி வேலை செய்துட்டு இருந்தேன். அரௌண்ட் 4 years அங்கே இருந்தது. அந்த கால டைம்ல செக்டர் 15, the nearby sector, there were many students, many young kids. அவர் தெருவில் பெக் பண்றான், இல்ல அது வேஸ்ட் கலெக்ட் பண்ற, ஸ்கூலில் போகல அந்த டைம்ல. அப்பதான் முதல்ல இந்த சோஷியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டினா சோஷியல் ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ்ல கொஞ்சம் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆகுறது. அங்க அந்த ஸ்லம்ல கொஞ்சம் 1-2 வருஷம் அப்புறம் நாங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை டீச்சிங் பண்றேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இந்த சிஸ்டத்துக்கு அகத்து யூ ஹாவ் டு பி இன் த சிஸ்டம். அதுக்குள்ள இருந்துதான் இந்த ஏதாவது சேஞ்ச் பண்ணா முதல்ல அதுக்குள்ள போனோம். அதனாலதான் இந்த ஐஏஎஸ் எக்ஸாம் கொடுத்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் 7 வருஷம் ஐஏஎஸ்ல இருந்தேன். 2012 to 2019 டெல்லியில இருந்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் மிசோரம்ல இருந்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் தாத்ரா நகர் ஹவேலி, சில்வாசா, தமன் தியூ அங்க இருந்தது. ட்ரீம், உன்னோட பர்சனல் ட்ரீம் தான் இது ஐஏஎஸ் ஆகணும். அந்த மாதிரி ட்ரீம் இருந்துன்னா ஓகே, ஐஏஎஸ் இஸ் அ குட் திங். ஆனா சேஞ்ச் பண்ண, யூ வாண்ட் டு சேஞ்ச் சம்திங். அந்த மாதிரி ட்ரீம் இருந்ததா ஐஏஎஸ் இஸ் அ குட் திங், பட் நாட் தி ஒன்லி திங். That cannot be the only thing to make a change. That is one possible way. In IAS irundna, in the political setup, in the political system, how much bandwidth they give, how much bandwidth they can give you, only within that you can make the change. Only that much change you can make, the bandwidth that is provided by the political system. Beyond which, if you try, you will see a sort of a reaction from the political system. So you have a very limited range in which you can make a change. It is little in the sense that if you want to change a system, it's actually a little more difficult if you are inside. It was the belief that you have to be in the system. That is why you actually went in. I also studied and then got in. Then slowly I realized that if you have to question certain fundamentals of the system itself, then it is difficult for you to do it while being inside. Because why? System considers you as a part of the system, and system also wants you to extend what is the current privileges and powers of the system. It does not want you to change those fundamental things. So then it becomes slightly suffocating for you, especially if you have to speak out, if you have to tell that okay, I don't agree with certain things. Like in my case, I did not agree with the way 370 was changed, and the way a complete curfew was imposed in Kashmir for almost a year, for almost 1 year. All sort of communication was banned, and a mobile was banned, internet was banned, telephone was banned, people could not go out, transport was banned, all communication. And one full state, an entire state, இது வந்து ஏதாவது கேபிட்டல் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் அல்ல அந்த லோக்கல் ஏரியா இல்ல, முழு ஸ்டேட், one entire state, all communications were banned. And India as a country, we did not respond. We did not say, our media, our judiciary, our activists, we did not say that this is not correct. This is not correct. We cannot do this to our own citizens. Now, we say that they are our own citizens. So we can't do this to our own citizens. We have, we can take a decision as a government, but we can't shut an entire population down. And then we cannot afford to keep quiet. And that silence and the decisions from the government, I felt it is important for at least somebody to speak up. And I felt if you could have spoken up while being in the system, then it would just lead to further harassment. I'll just get transferred from one place to other, and then I'll not be made to work anywhere. I can get transferred every 6 months. Though by getting transferred every 6 months, I am not of any service to myself. I'm also of not any service to people, because by the time I go there, I start doing something, I'll go somewhere else. So it is not of any use to anybody, except that you will get salary maybe till you get till you retire. So that is the only thing during that period. So I decided to speak up, and I wanted my freedom back. That I wanted my freedom to express what I feel strongly as certain wrongs being done by the government. I thought I need that freedom back to express. And I think you also need to understand that it is the very same system, and it's the very same individuals who are inside the system and doing certain things like arresting people, or just now, if you can take how some lady was being harassed and being arrested, or somebody's houses was being demolished, all these are also done by people like us only. So one side of it is you can do service to people. The other side of it is you are also a tool to oppress people. You as a bureaucrat, you are also party to that oppression. You are not a silent observer, you are actually a party. Even your silence becomes a consent to that oppression. So then I thought it is slightly difficult, and you need to get out and say these things. I did not have any expectation that I will change a lot of things, but at that point of time, the biggest service I could have done for my nation was to resign and tell that I don't agree. You came into the service because you want to serve the nation, you want to serve the people. And at that point of time, because of the situation we are in, because of the silence that was around all of us, the biggest service I could have done was to break that silence. And to break that silence, the only way I could do was to resign and say those things. So that was the reason. And also we have a feeling that the system is a system. It is not a system. Bureaucracy is a subsystem. It's அது வந்து ஒரு வலி சிஸ்டத்துக்குள்ள அந்த ஸ்மால் சிஸ்டம், அப்படிதான் சப்சிஸ்டம் தான், அது ஃபுல் சிஸ்டம் இல்லை. அதனால lot of things you can't do from being that in that subsystem. You need to get out, and a lot of things becomes easier to do.
You and Sasikant Sandil, a few people who have resigned against the decisions of the government, but at the same time there are many bureaucrats who are working part of the government, and they are enjoyably working. So this is a question you can answer.
Yeah, no, that is precisely what I said, in the sense அது வந்து individual decision தான். நான் இது வந்து okay, I can ignore. So, you can always find justification. அது political decision. நான் வந்து bureaucrat, என்னால இந்த மாதிரி சேஞ்ச் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது, அதனால நான் என்ன டிசிஷன் வந்தாலும் அதை எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ணலாம், அதான் என்னோட டியூட்டி. You can limit yourself. You can limit your own powers, you can limit your own consciousness, and you can simply execute, right? You can say in the decision, political decision, அது வந்து elected government ஓட legal decision தான் நான் எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ணணும், அதுதான் என்னோட டியூட்டி. அந்த மாதிரி நான் லிமிட் பண்ணலாம். அந்த கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் சரியா இருக்கா, இல்ல அது வந்து மொராலிட்டி சரியா இருக்கா, இல்ல எத்திக்கலா இருக்கா, அந்த மாதிரி क्वेश्चंस எல்லாம் இக்னோர் பண்ணலாம். இது very limited thought. You are limiting yourself. That I think at some point you will, all of us would be responsible for the decisions and the execution. You cannot say that decision was somebody else and only the execution was mine. That is not a justification enough. If somebody else and you find it to be unethical, immoral, or unconstitutional, then you have a responsibility to take that, object to it. It's not that you find a way to justify it by saying it is a government decision, நான் வந்து அதை எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ண இந்த மாதிரி. Just that is a very limited morality.
நீங்க ராஜினாமா செய்தது எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். பட் ஆனா இன்னும் உங்களை வந்து உங்களுடைய ராஜினாமா கடிதத்தை மத்திய அரசு ஏற்காமல் நீங்க மீண்டும் பணியில சேரணும் அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு அழைப்பு விடுறாங்க. பணியில சேரக்கூடிய எண்ணம் இருக்கிறதா? ஏன் அந்த மத்திய அரசுடைய கடிதத்தை நீங்க ஏற்க மாட்டீங்க?
இல்ல, அவர் வந்து ஏப்ரல்ல தான் இந்த ஒரு ஒரு லெட்டர் அனுப்பிட்டா, நான் இந்த ஜோலியில் வந்து ரீஜாயின் டியூட்டி அந்த மாதிரி. அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் ரிப்ளை பண்ண, இந்த கோவிட் டைம்ல வாலண்டியரா வேலை செய்யறதுக்கு நான் கண்டிப்பா வரேன், ஆனா ஐஏஎஸ்ஆ திரும்பி வர மாட்டேன்னு. அப்போ அவர் வந்து ஒரு எஃப்ஐஆர் போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன்ல வந்து எஃப்ஐஆர் பண்ணிட்டு, இஃப் ஐ கேம் டு நோ தட் சம் போலீஸ் வென்ட் டு மை ஓல்டர் ஹோம் டு நொய்டா, அரெஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்காகயா இல்ல வந்து நோட்டீஸ் சர்வ் பண்ணது அது எனக்கு தெரியாது. ஆனா போலீஸ் டீம், சில்வாசா வந்து போலீஸ் டீம் அவர் they went to நொய்டா. நான் வந்து கிளியர் தான், ஆனா இது ஐ ஹவ் ரிசைன்ட் அண்ட் அது அக்செப்ட் பண்றா இல்ல அக்செப்ட் பண்ண அது கவர்மெண்டோட டிசிஷன். தட்ஸ் நாட் மை டிசிஷன். லாஸ்ட் ஆகஸ்ட் from last August to this now, I'm not getting any salary, I'm not taking any salary also, I'm not taking any government benefits or any of that part. So for me, and the resignation part is over. I'm a free citizen now. It's for the government to decide. அது வந்து அவர் டிசிப்ளினரி ப்ரொசீடிங்ஸ் அவர் செய்துட்டேன், எஃப்ஐஆர் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஒரு டிசிப்ளினரி ப்ரொசீடிங் வந்து என்னோட மீடியா இன்ட்ராக்ஷன்ஸ் காரணம் இந்தியாவோட ஃபாரின் ரிலேஷன்ஸ் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ற அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சார்ஜ் கூட அவர் போட்டுட்டான். But for me, that part is over. I am no more a government servant. I have resigned, and I don't intend to go back. Also, I think there is more work to be done outside.
நீங்க ரிசைன் பண்ணி ஒரு வருஷம் ஆச்சு. அப்படி இருந்தும் உங்களுக்கு பினான்சியல் ரீதியா பிரச்சனைகள் வரலையா? குறிப்பா என்ன பெரிய மாற்றம் நடந்துருச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
ஃபினான்ஷியல் வந்து இது, என்னோட வைஃப் வந்து ஐடி இன்ஜினியர், சாஃப்ட்வேர் இன்ஜினியர் தான். அதான் ஷீ சப்போர்ட்ஸ் மீ. அவர் ரிசைன் பண்ணிட்டா நானும் அவரே சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம். இஃப் ஐ வாஸ் இன் அ ஜாப் அண்ட் ஷீ வுட் ஹவ் ரிசைன்ட், ஐ வுட் ஹவ் சப்போர்ட்டட் ஹர். அந்த மாதிரி தான் நான் ரிசைன் பண்ணுறேன், அவர் ஷீ இஸ் சப்போர்ட்டிங் மீ. ஐ ஹாவ் அ 5-year-old கிட். அவர் ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகிறேன். ஸோ இந்த டானேல வந்து ஒரு அபார்ட்மெண்ட் ரெண்டா எடுத்திருக்கேன். அதில் தான். ஸோ நோ தட் மச் ஆஃப் அ ஃபினான்ஷியல் இஷ்யூஸ். ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் ரொம்ப சேஞ்ச் ஆயிருக்கு. அது travel, if you have to travel, then I ask whoever is asking me to come to book the ticket, because I cannot travel on my own expenditure. Like initially 1 or 2 months I did that, but then I had to break a couple of my FDs and I couldn't sustain it. So I said whoever wants me to come to for something, then you have to book the ticket. Other than that, if you ask me what changes has happened in the last 1 year, at least I'm not saying big changes have happened, but one thing is that from August onwards, I must have traveled to around 18-19 states and some 65 districts I have traveled, and this is all before the NRC, around NRC-CA movement, and all created awareness among people on two things. One is that to question the government is not to be anti-national, to question the politicians in power is not to be against the country. It is very essential that as citizens we question those who are in power. That is a very simple thing that we have to do. And everybody, be it media also, it is important that the media questions the establishment. It is important that judiciary keeps the executive in check. It is important that as citizens you can vote again for the same government. திரும்பி எலெக்ஷன்ல வந்து இந்த சேம் பார்ட்டிக்கு vote பண்ண, no problem. But அதுக்கப்புறம் you question them. You made these promises, did you deliver? That questioning is important. In the blind faith, blind support, that is ரொம்ப dangerous. So second thing was that in the protest on the criminal activity, that also we had to convey to a lot of people during, protesting against the government is not criminal. We got freedom, we got independence by peaceful protest. That is something I'm quite satisfied with, that I was able to play a part in all of that. I think just as a citizen, not as an IAS officer, but as a citizen.
மத்திய அரசு கொண்டு வந்துள்ள புதிய கல்விக் கொள்கை எப்படி பாக்குறீங்க? குறிப்பா இதுல வரவேற்கக்கூடிய அம்சங்கள் இருக்கிறதா நினைக்கிறீங்களா? அப்படி இல்லைன்னா ஏன்?
NEP வந்து ரொம்ப, see, some things are definitely welcome. அது வந்து in யூனிவர்சல் பிரைமரி எஜுகேஷன், ப்ரீ பிரைமரி எஜுகேஷன், அது வந்து குட் ஸ்டெப் தான். ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் சதர்ன் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் இல்ல வந்து கொஞ்சம் டெவலப் ஸ்டேட்ஸ்ல வந்து ப்ரீ பிரைமரி எஜுகேஷன் முதல்ல தொட்ட இருக்கு. ஆனா some northern states especially, and if you look UP, Bihar, etc., even where I was working, the Anganwadi system வந்து very weak. It's not at all strong. அதனால யூனிவர்சலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் ப்ரீ பிரைமரி ஸ்கூல் அது வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமான பாயிண்ட் தான். என்னன்னா ஒரு இப்ப என்னோட பையன் வந்து அவரு நர்சரி, எல்கேஜி, யூகேஜி போனா, அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ல போனான். பிஃபோர் கோயிங் டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ஹி நோஸ் ABCD 1 2 3 எவ்ரிதிங். ஆனா ஒரு புவர் பர்சன், அந்த சாதாரண மனுஷன், அவரோட மக்கள் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ல போனா he knows nothing. At first standard he doesn't know anything. So இந்த டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருந்தது, ஹியூஜ் கேப். அந்த கேப் ஃபில் பண்றது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான ஒரு சேஞ்ச் தான். இட் வாஸ் இன் த குட் டைரக்ஷன் ஒன்லி as far as NEP is concerned. இது வந்து கொஞ்சம் காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடா இருந்ததுன்னா ஹையர் எஜுகேஷன்ல வந்து ரொம்ப hands off approach na, if you have money, if you have power, if you have access, okay, then you study. Higher education வந்து கவர்மெண்டோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி இல்ல, இது வந்து ஸ்கூல் எஜுகேஷன் தான் கவர்மெண்டோட ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து பைசா இருந்துன்னா நீங்க படித்து you go and study, இல்லைன்னா don't go and study kind of an approach. அது கொஞ்சம் டேஞ்சரஸ். இப்போ வந்து okay, our country might not have resource, that doesn't mean we shouldn't have the dream, right? There was a time when we didn't have the resource to feed everybody, but that did not stop us from dreaming that okay, we will stop hunger death. There 1942-43 we were like having 40 lakh deaths because of lack of hunger, but we never said we did not have resource, so hunger death is okay, we will not provide for food. We said no, we will find the resource to do it. That is a desirable objective, so we will find this to do it. That should have been the approach, instead of saying that we do not have the resource, so we will focus only on school education. High school education is the privilege of the rich. That means it does not matter the merits. I'm not coming from a rich background. I was able to do it because I could do an education in a good institute, because there was subsidy, of course, from the government side, through UGC and other things. There was scholarship, and then there was also cheap loans available. So all these things, if one of it was not there, I wouldn't have been an engineer, or I wouldn't have been able to. So merit wouldn't have mattered. Instead, it would have been only your purchasing power, or money power, whether you have money or not. So that, I think, is a slightly dangerous part of it.
3 language policy வந்து எப்படி பாக்குறீங்க?
இது வந்து இந்த 3 language policy, I don't know why it has any relevance. கொஞ்சம் தியரட்டிக்கலா சொல்லுன்னா, இது வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம் இருக்குது, லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் அத்தாரிட்டி இருக்குது, லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங், லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் அத்தாரிட்டி, லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம் இமோஷன்ஸ். ஐடியால வந்து இது வந்து 3 லாங்குவேஜ் சேம் தான் இருக்கணும். லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங், லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் அத்தாரிட்டி, லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம். இது வந்து 3ம் சேமா இருந்ததுன்னா இட் இஸ் ஈஸியர் ஃபார் ஆல் ஆஃப் அஸ் டு டூ. ஸோ த டிஃபரன்ஸ் வில் நாட் பி தேர். ஆனா இங்கிலீஷ் வந்து இப்போ இன்டர்நேஷனலி லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிட்டா. எவ்ரிபடி அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்ஸ் தட் தி ஹையர் எஜுகேஷன், தி ரிசர்ச், அட்வான்ஸ் ரிசர்ச், இதெல்லாம் வந்து இங்கிலீஷ்ல தான் அக்ராஸ் தி வேர்ல்ட். அதனால லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங்காக இங்கிலீஷ்னா கத்துதான் ஆகணும். பட் we have to learn the English. ஆனா இது இந்த லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் அண்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம், இது வந்து 2 language. There is no reason to distinguish between language of power authority, propaganda, whatever you call it. It's where like a political language. So what the third language effectively brings is that your language of home, நீங்க வீட்ல ஏதாவது பேசினா அது வந்து one thing, emotions in literature வந்து one thing. ஆனா government, if you have to talk to government, if you have to talk to authority, if you have to talk to some political propaganda, அது அந்த லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து டிஃபரெண்டா இருக்கணும். இந்த டிஸ்டிங்ஷன் இங்க வருது. அது லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் இந்த லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம், that is not desired, that is not desirable, and that is also discriminatory. இப்போ வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம் தமிழா இருக்கு, ஆனா நாளைக்கு வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் பவர் ஹிந்தியா இருந்ததுன்னா, இல்ல உத்தரப்பிரதேசில் வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் ஆஃப் ஹோம் plus language of power Hindi தான் இருக்கும். There is a disadvantage difference also. There is a distinct difference in the advantage also. So there is no reason. If it is for in the brain development kaga da, the 2 language is more than sufficient. even for a secondary language. If you say 3 language is important, then you can go for 4 language also, then you can go for 5 language also, then you can learn 10-15 language, and you can learn only language. So that is also not of a much concern. I think we have to accept this as a nation, that for us, we are states with linguistic states, union with the linguistic states. ஏதாவது ஒரு ஸ்டேட் அவரோட லாங்குவேஜ் இருக்கு, அந்த லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து should be the language of home and language of power, authority, everything, politics, everything in that state. Language of learning for entire country, it should be English. Hindi Hindi, because the language did not develop into a language of learning, it's not possible for Hindi to become a language of learning. It is the same thing with a lot of other our regional languages also. So either ideally all 3 should have been the same. If not, at least let's keep the language of home, language of emotions, language of power, all those things at least to be one, and language of learning to be to be something else. And this learning some other third language is also effectively not going to be of much use. Let's say I learn Odia in Tamil Nadu and I go to Karnataka, so it doesn't make any much of it doesn't even do any national integration, or and this national integration also, this feeling is, you have to understand where it comes from. It comes from because for people who are not native are native Hindi speakers, for them Hindi is almost as equivalent as being an Indian. Being able to speak Hindi is equivalent to being an Indian. So these two are very tightly held together. But I am from Kerala. For me, I can speak Hindi, I can speak many languages, that is okay. But for me, being able to speak Hindi has nothing to do with India. I can know only Malayalam and still be equally or even more patriotic than a Hindi speaking person. But this difference in identity, that is not very clear to a large number of people, native Hindi speaking people. And second question that they generally ask is that you are ready to learn English, which is an alien language, which is not even Indian. You guys are ready to learn English, but you are not ready to learn Hindi, which is an Indian language. Why do you hate Hindi so much? Why do you hate Hindi so much that you are ready to learn a foreign language, but you are not ready to learn an Indian language? Because they don't understand that we learn English because we like to learn. And English is the language of learning. So there is a very clear purpose to learning English. It is not because of an excessive love towards that language. If you're all given a choice, we would all learn only our own language. We won't learn even a second language. But because there is an English as a language of learning, that is why we generally tend to learn that language. Whereas learning Hindi is precise, the only reason to learn Hindi is because the government asks you to learn Hindi. Learn Hindi, so you have to learn Hindi. That is where it becomes imposition. It doesn't become a natural learning procedure, but it becomes imposition. And also, it also puts people at disadvantage, because for a Hindi speaking person, he doesn't have to learn a second language at all. He doesn't have to learn a second language at all when it comes to this. And the third language policy is also very interesting, because how it will play out normally is that the third language in the southern states, or especially non-Hindi speaking states, will be Hindi. Okay, the third language in a non-Hindi speaking states will be Hindi, whereas the third language in a Hindi speaking state would be either Sanskrit or Urdu. It will not be any other regional language. It will not be any other, and that has been going on forever. So when it doesn't add any value, because Hindi and Urdu or Sanskrit, they all share a similar kind of a script and share similar history. So it does not make much of a difference to them. So it's just okay, you have to give an exam and pass kind of a thing. This also comes with a lot of insecurity, I think, that unless we have a one language, we are not a country or something, that some sort of a European kind of nationalism, but we as a country, we are not like that. And by doing that, we will actually create more fissure, more division than uniting the country. Because our country was not formed on language uniformity. Our country was formed on emotional bonding, and those emotional bonding allowed us those differences that we have. So one way or the other, and this trying to not impose it, we are saying we will not impose it, you can choose, but then you will only give that. I don't think it's so easy to fool people with such kind of things. It's what is evident is very clear, and people do read it. But it needs to be conveyed that English has a place because it is a language of learning. It's also a link language. If there is any other language which should, come, it should be the mother tongue, because that is in where the language of home, the language of emotion, literature, everything for it. And that should also be the language of power and authority, wherein you are dealing with your government. Whichever is your that language, you should be dealing with government and authority in that language. There is no reason for even for neurological development or any of those reasons, to have more and more into go into this thing. So that is what I feel about that.
சார், இப்ப அரசு பணியில இருந்த போது ஏதேனும் அரசியல் அழுத்தங்களை நீங்க எதிர்கொண்டீங்களா?
There are a lot of it in the bureaucracy. It's normal. It's not like the kind of political pressure, the kind of bullying or all those things which comes while being in the service is you can deal with it also. There have been many instances where people have asked or people have political bosses have pushed to do XYZ things, and you have said no, and you have to bear the consequences also of saying no. But that you never bothered, because you know that certain things you can't do, and so you will not do. So I think I don't think that affects so much once you are aware of the larger scheme of things.
சார், அதாவது பாஜக ஆட்சி காலத்துல மட்டும்தான் மக்கள் பணியில ஈடுபடக்கூடிய அதிகாரிகளுக்கு அரசியல் அழுத்தங்கள் இருக்கிறதா, இல்ல முந்தைய காங்கிரஸ் ஆட்சியிலேயே அது மாதிரியான அழுத்தங்கள் இருந்ததா? உங்களுடைய நண்பர்கள் என்ன சொல்றாங்க?
2012 பேட்ச் தான். ஆனா 2012 பேட்ச்னா 2013-14 அந்த ஸ்மால் டைம்ல வந்து காங்கிரஸ் ரூல் இருந்தது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த மிசோரம் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து காங்கிரஸ் தான். மிசோரம்ல வந்து ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட். இங்க தாத்ரா நகர்ஹவேலி வந்து யூனியன் டெரிட்டரி, அதனால டைரக்ட்ல ஹோம் மினிஸ்ட்ரி ஆர் யூடி அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன். பிரஷர் இது வந்து இந்த சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் ட்ரெமெண்டஸ் இன் த சென்ஸ், அவர் ஏதாவது சொன்னா அது பண்ணிதான் ஆகணும். இது யூ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் an option of saying no. நீங்க சொல்லினா they will show you how dare you say no to us, and then there is no end to it. It's not like you will just stop it, or okay, you can take that fight, but it is immature politics. It is highly authoritarian, but it is also highly immature. That if somebody says no, somebody says he can't do it, that his will doesn't allow it to do it, you should have the maturity to understand and let it go. But instead going after somebody, I'll tell you an example, not maybe of me, but of Mr. Ashok Lavasa, who was the election commissioner with this. He was the finance secretary during the very government. This government only made him a finance secretary. This government only made him election commissioner also. And so that means they have checked everything. They checked their IB reports, they checked their vigilance reports, everything. And then they made him into election commissioner. During the 2019 elections, he, in a couple of instances, noted that there are model code of conduct violations from Mr. Modi, Prime Minister. And immediately after, in July, elections got over. And in July, his entire family was targeted. His son, his sister, his wife, his daughter, everybody. His son had to leave the job. He was in a private sector. And that kind of, even mafias do not go after family. But the government was like, how dare you? How can you say that Mr. Modi violated a model code of conduct? How dare you? We will show you your place. And to show your place, it's not sufficient that she should be done something to him. It has to be shown that you will show to everybody in your family. We will show you how we operate. And that is criminal. Not even criminal, I don't know. That is like something that we have never seen, that a government going after the family members of a bureaucrat or a constitutional position rather, for doing his duty. He had his opinion. It's not like that's the end of it. He had his opinion that whether it is the model code of conduct, and he was just doing his duty. He was not going about and doing anything else. And he was supposed to be the next chief election commissioner also. But the kind of harassment ensured that he will somehow maybe moving out of, he's already moved out, I think, from Election Commission and going to ADB. And the funny thing is, the same government which is saying that, doing all this inquiry in the entire family is also now recommending his name to be a vice president of ADB. How can it know? It's as Asian Development Bank is one of the biggest financial institutions in the world. You are accusing the person's entire family of financial irregularities, and the same government is then recommending his name also to Asian Development Bank as a VP and also as a representative of the country. We don't we see the irony? Unfortunately, we don't cover it. We don't even put this across that, look at the irony. Just only thing government wanted was that you will not become chief election commissioner. You will not become chief election commissioner when a Tamil Nadu election is to take place, when Kerala election is to take place, when Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal election is to take place, when these important state elections are going to take place. You will not be allowed to be the chief election commissioner of this country. And that is the kind of brazenness, audacity, what you want. We are going to go ahead and we will not move you out. We will not kick you out. You yourself will resign and go. We will make sure that we'll create circumstances such that you will say, okay, please leave me alone, I am going from here. That is the most dangerous. That's a key difference. That is immaturity, because right now they think this is all, whatever they want to do, they are able to get away with it. But this is very short time in a nation's history. 5 years is nothing. 6 years, 10 years is nothing. Things change, and they will realize the kind of damage they have done both to themselves and the country. They'll very soon realize.